The 2025 Asset Alliance Group Scottish Rally Championship kicks off once again with the McDonald and Munro Speyside stages. Now, if you're in Elgin, you're a proper petrol head, you need to come to this place, the Murray Motor Museum. Fantastic collection of cars with a couple of rally legends in itself. We've of course got the Audi Quattro next to me, and just behind the camera, a BMW E30. And also on the entry list this weekend, we've got a few Scottish rally legends. So let's see how they got on. As well, I just said the Asset Alliance Group Scottish Rally Championship kicked off its 2025 season with a return to Elgin for the McDonald and Munro Speyside stages. 84 crews lining up to do battle over the 8 stages, all headed up by last year's winners, David Bogie and John Rowan, returning to Skoda Fabia power.
I'm going to try, but yeah, hey, we'll need to see. The pace is going to be hot today, and obviously a new car. I've not been out in gravel for a while, so might just take a wee bit of time to get back into it.
Reigning SRC champion Ewan Thorburn is a late entry in his Polo, reunited with navigator Paul Beaton. They'll be looking to take the fight to their long-term rivals in front.
We'll try. I don't think will be possible, but obviously David's won it a long time, a lot of times. It always goes well here, so I will put pressure on him and see what happens.
Behind two of the most successful teams in Scottish rallying, there are, as always, a talented collection of challengers looking to be in the top 5 mix.
People say, what have you done over the winter? Or we've done nothing, but I found another button in the car that might make it go a bit quicker, so that's going to help.
Won the last round of the championship, didn't you?
We did.
How do you feel about that going into this first round?
Not really thinking about that, Fiona. That for me was I've been trying for that for years, and I'm glad to have ticked it off. Absolutely, but today we're out for fun and we'll see how we go. There's a lot of big competition here today. We're not expecting a repeat of that, but we want to be in the mix, so we'll see how we go.
Oh, it's a fair top 10 here today, so I think if I can get a clean finish in the top 10, I'll be happy.
Yeah, just same as everyone, keen to get going. You know, it's just get out of here nice and safe, and then see what the grip's like on the first gravel stage. The test the other day was pretty loose, so I don't know how it's going to be, but yeah, looking forward to it.
And adding to the fun, there are a couple of big names making an appearance. Former Irish tarmac champion Darren Gass returns to the Scottish woods after 18 years away. And Icelandic driver Daniel Sigurdsson makes his furthest trip north so far in the UK. 2 runs through Cooper Park opened the day's fun before the crews headed into the forests. Bogie and Rowan first on the road in the new Fabia and first on the timesheets. It was a morning where nothing seemed to be able to stop them. 6 fastest times, even with a slow puncture, saw them head into the Keith service with a 17-second lead.
It was. You know, it's deceptive how fast these things are actually, cars are moving.
Equal fastest in 1, it was a more steady morning for Thorburn and Beaton. Having not been in the car since last year's Grampian, Ewan was understandably feeling a little bit rusty. They shadowed the Fabia crew, never more than 6 seconds away on any stage, to hold second at service. Also equal fastest in 1, Scott Macbeth and Dan Forsyth had made a cracking start. The older Fabia was never outside the top 4 times in the morning and set another equal fastest time in SS6. That left them third, just 8 seconds away from second place. 16 seconds back from the Fabia, Scott Beattie and Peredur Davies were continuing their good form from 2024. 5th fastest for most of the morning, they had begun to speed up, tying for second fastest with Thorburn and Beaton in stage 6. Fiesta was 10 seconds up on our Icelandic visitors, christened by the Buckley team as Danny and Pinky. They were super impressed with the SRC pace. The new shape Fabia just 8 seconds up on the Fabia lookalike of Jock Armstrong and Owen Patterson.
For that very reason. Here's Jock Armstrong.
Jock had been doing his homework over the winter and had discovered some new settings for the Skoda's engine mapping. It didn't work in SS1, 13th fastest while still in road mode. Things improved after that, 5th in the SRC, although Jock still claimed to be missing his old Subaru. seconds back, Rally Caledonia winners Mark McCulloch and Michael Hendry survived a big overshoot early on the first gravel stage. Another crew feeling rusty, they were getting quicker with each stage, fifth fastest in SS6.
You know, again, he's a very committed driver. You know, and him and Michael, you know, work really well as a team.
Taking things steady in the park, Stephen Petch and Michael Wilkinson were rapidly speeding up on the gravel. Really enjoying stage 4 in particular, they were a further 8 seconds down on the Proton service. Our Irish visitors, Darren Gass and Enda Sherry, were another 6 seconds down in the Fiesta. The Polo in turn just in front of clubman sponsor Bruce McCombie and Sean Donnelly. Bruce already declaring his day a success, having not stalled in Cooper Park. Bruce's good friend John Wink was joined for the Speyside by Will Atkins once again. It hadn't been the Hyundai Crew's morning, disappearing up a fire break in SS4 and puncturing a tyre in SS5. Despite the delays, they were still inside the SRC top 10 in 9th. Another to survive a puncture, Chris Colley and Ricky Finlayson rounded out the top 10 after 6 stages. Chris also feeling very rusty after 6 months out the car, but happy with his day so far. Donnie McDonald and Kerr Beaton were 36 seconds back, Donnie relearning the Fiesta after recently campaigning a Polo. They were just 7 seconds up on the flying Duncan Campbell and Michael Cruikshank. Out in a new Impreza for the first time, they had the challengers lead after 6 stages, but only by 1 second. That was over the top G&M Mechanical Services two-wheel drive crew of Ross Jarrett and Susan Shanks. The big Escort was on a charge, inside the top 20 times in the last 3 stages. The new partnership was working well, and they were enjoying it with a 14-second two-wheel drive lead after 6 stages. We'd already lost a couple of big names. Hugh Brunton and Martin Brady put their Polo off the road in SS6.
Up in Yorkshire. Well, there's Paddy Munro, a man on a mission.
Top two-wheel drive seeds Paddy Munro and Andrew Stevenson retired with a burst fuel tank on their Mark II, and Kenny Wood and Charles Mackenzie's BMW was sidelined with broken rear suspension.
Got Kenny Wood.
Having fun, absolutely, yeah. You know, some good stages ahead of us today as well, so we'll keep pushing on.
Yeah, what's the weather conditions like? Is it wet? Or?
Yeah, a little smurrer ranges, but nothing enough to put the wipers on, but not enough to affect anything.
Keep
so
the steer away.
Keep the steer away, absolutely.
Yeah, it's going good. Been a wee while since we were in the car together, so just getting dialed back in, but quite enjoying the run. It's good. David's setting some really good times, and we're just trying to hang on to his coattails today, to be honest. But yeah, I think we've got more speed to come, so yeah, we'll try and dial in for the last 2 stages.
That was a better loop, kind of felt a bit more like what I know I can do. So yeah, stage 5 was like quite a lot of big rocks, so you had to be careful. And then that white ash, yeah, I really enjoyed that one too. It was a better surface. It was fast, so good. Never done that stages before, so enjoyed them. Yeah.
Still feel a bit rusty. But I haven't been out with Perrier since the Grampian last year, so it takes a while to get used to it again. But no, we've got good pace. Everyone in front's on a mission, so we're just
sitting there waiting
just,
in the wings.
yeah, exactly. Not that you wish that anyone any issues, but we're there to hopefully get another spot if we can.
So I was actually on stage mode on the road, and I was on road mode on the stage. God. That's all I can tell you, folks.
You know, we're just learning the car, and stages are good like always in the Speyside. Marbly through 3. We lost a bit of time in the last 2, but no, overall I'm happy, and it's good to be back out.
A good morning, to be fair. Last 2 were good. First one, what would that be? 3, 4, 5 is a bit rough at the start, but it was good after that, and the last one was very good, very fast at the end. So yeah, just getting there and believing that I can do it, I think, is a big thing. So, and when I believe, we're there. So
2 more stages would round out the day, and there was still drama to come.
Oh, listen to that. 2.5 engine in it.
The big drama affected the 2-wheel drive leaders, literally flying in SS7. They were suddenly stopped when all the brakes jammed on, ending one of the best drives in the whole event. Reigning ladies champion Aileen Forrest had a couple of new names to battle with for the Speyside, squaring off against both Natalie and Christina Robinson in their Peugeot 208s. Unfortunately, Natalie went off the road in SS3, but Aileen and Christina were swapping times less than 20 seconds apart after 4 stages.
Pushing on is Christina.
The next loop saw Aileen and co-driver Paul Gribben make their move, really enjoying White Ash and taking advantage of a puncture and an off for Christina and Grum Wilcock. It still remained close, but the Evo pilot held on to the win by 37 seconds at the finish.
Right hand man. So Aileen Forrest for Paul Gribben.
Jack Ryan and Robin Nicholson's morning was very eventful, parking their Impreza in a stage 3 ditch for almost 2 minutes. Some dedicated helpers eventually dug them out, and they carried on with a cockpit full of ditch water. But the rest of the day was very good, climbing 30 places up the leaderboard from 67th to grab 37th at the finish. And that was enough to take first blood in the Groundwater Lift Trucks Subaru Cup. Seventh 2-wheel drive car home, Escort legends Steve Bannister and Brian Hodgson grabbed 33rd overall, top historic car, and the win in the Haddo Energy Super Seniors. It had been a long time since Steve had made the trip from Yorkshire to Elgin, but he showed he was still a force to be reckoned with in these forests, embarrassing some much more modern machinery during the day. Second SRC 2-wheel drive home, Justin Gunning and Michael Motes grabbed first blood in the Motes Offshore Juniors. Continuing from where they left off at the last round of 2024, they quickly knocked their winter rust off and established a juniors lead. The only drama was a bit of underbody damage after SS5. That didn't cost them any time and was easily sorted in service. Finally seeing the Speyside finish after 2 failed attempts, they took a commanding juniors win by almost 4 minutes.
Chuffed, that's 3 years we've done this event, never finished. So it's a bit of a curse for us, so it was just good to get a finish, and it was a really good result as well. Good start to the year, so we're happy, very happy.
Going like a clippers, I would say. Keeping it neat and tidy, and no mistakes all day, so can't complain.
When Jarrett and Shanks retired, Dougal Brown and Lewis Rochford were in the perfect place to pounce. After their 2024 snowman ended very early with engine issues, they were keen to bounce back here. Experimenting with different tyre choices, they were right in the 2-wheel drive mix all day. 17th at the finish and top 2-wheel drive crew home was a nice return to form for the former 2-wheel drive champions.
North east of Scotland, Scott. We're near a town called Keith, and we're in a stage called Ballachwood, just to the east of Keith.
In fact, the Escort ended up tied on time, with both the Impreza of Duncan Campbell and Michael Cruikshank and the Evo of Brett McKenzie and Barry Young. Brett and Barry had put on a charge during the second half of the event, closing in on the Impreza to force a tie for top challenger. It all went to a countback of the SS1 times where the Evo had been faster through the park, snatching the challenger's win at the last possible moment. A great result for Brett in his home event, and he was already planning a proper celebration.
Didn't even know we'd won it or entered it. It didn't even cross my mind, so really good.
A bit of rivalry between us and Johnny Mackay, so I think we went into
we tanked them though.
We went into the last stage on the same time as them, and so we were pushing hard, weren't we?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, what's next?
A Chinese. I'm going home for a Chinese.
Good plan.
Ian Forgan and Chris Lees had endured a difficult morning, crawling through stage 4 with no turbo. 36th overall after that stage, they put on a charge, climbing back up the leaderboard to grab 11th in the SRC at the finish. There was a second puncture for Colley and Finlayson to deal with in the final loop, but luckily it didn't change their position and they marked their return to the SRC with a solid 10th. Wink and Atkins were over a minute up on the Fiesta by the finish, a low-key result for the I-20, but still a decent haul of points. Much like Colley and Finlayson, they'll only get quicker as the season goes on.
Wink. John Wink.
In fact, John ended up just 2 seconds down on his good pal Bruce McCombie at the finish. An excellent 8th in the SRC for the Fiesta man on his first event with Sean Donnelly alongside. Gas and Sherry were clearly finding their feet on the gravel again, ending the event just 5 seconds down on Petch and Wilkinson. A decent 7th in the points to kick off the Fiesta Cruise season, only 11 seconds down on McCulloch and Hendry.
He pushes this Fiesta. The Fiesta Rally 2, he pushes that hard.
He certainly is.
Fine, Robert.
6th was a solid result for the Proton crew, clearly taking some time to knock the winter rust off. Mark more annoyed that they lost out in this chapter of their almost permanent battle with Jock Armstrong and Owen Patterson. The Scuderoos just beating out the Satria Evo by 13 seconds at the finish. Danny and Pinky made the trip from Iceland worthwhile with 5th overall, the Fabia ending up 11 seconds down on BT and Davies. A very solid return to the championship for the Fiesta crew, clearly showing that their break hadn't lost them any speed. That left the top 3, and here it was more of the drama. Thorburn and Beaton were clearly finding their flow, fastest by 2 seconds in stage 7. Into the final stage, and they would survive a big fright when they lost all their brakes on a flat-out section. They immediately backed off, recording 12th fastest in the stage, and dropping to 3rd at the end of the event.
It's good to be back, back rallying. Kind of had a wee layoff with myself and Ewan, where I was sitting with young Finlay, and Ewan had a few events with my brother, so yeah, it was good to get back in the hot seat with him. Today was going okay. Had a wee issue in the last stage with no brakes, so that kind of cost us second, but second went to a worthy second to young Scott there, so he did a great rally.
Yeah, good. And you beat your brother.
That wouldn't be hard, would it?
Brave lad.
The Polo ended up only 6 seconds down on Macbeth and Forsyth. A fantastic drive all event, rounded off with a second fastest time on the final test. An excellent result, delivering on the promise they've always shown, and a sweet finish in particular for Dan on his home event.
I think this is Scotland there.
Yeah, delighted. We surprised at the end there. Ewan had a wee bit of trouble and we took a chunk of time out of him. So yeah, it was good to get second. Yeah.
Good. You enjoyed the last few stages?
Yeah, the last one was a wee bit tricky there with a shower of rain. It was very, very slippy. But
yeah, brilliant. Like, Scott's been faultless all day. The team's been great. So to podium and second at my home event, yeah, couldn't ask for
Absolutely,
much more than
yeah,
that. Like,
yeah,
so,
yeah. Good.
no, really good.
Good. What's next?
Border Counties. Going to go there in 2 weeks. Then the Jim Clark national event, and then that's me banned. Then we're having a baby in June. So.
But 47 seconds up the road, David Bogie continued to set records, becoming a 12-time Speyside winner and giving John Rowan his third. A dominant performance in the woods, and now we have the exciting prospect of seeing what they can do in the Fabia on the tarmac of round 2.
Thank you very much. It's been another good day again. Obviously the first time out in the new Skoda Fabia RS with Dommy Buckley. So yeah, the car was good. John was good. Stages were good, and the results good.
Good, excellent. You've had a great day. John, have you had a great day?
Oh, fantastic day. Coming up to Elgin every year is great. It's a great club, and it's they're very welcoming for us to come up every year, and it's just a great rally through and through. So David drove really well, and we had a great day.
So Bogie and Rowan take another Speyside win, but there's plenty of strong contenders throughout the top 10. Up next, the Asset Alliance Group Scottish Rally Championship heads south to Thorburn territory, the Jim Clark Reivers Rally in May.